Solid red. Go. Solid red.
Action.
Hit the record. And we're live. Welcome to the Control Room, the podcast that shines a light on the local music scene and the creators behind it. Every episode, we break down the sounds, stories, cultures shaping the Arizona vibes. My name is Jamaal or X, and we have
Wavvii, baby. You know, just your neighborhood rapper.
And I'm that. I'm that young AB, aka Popular Underdog.
I'm definitely the oldest one here. This is Coby from Phoenix Hip Hop.
Let's go.
Curious. How old are you?
Old enough. I'm 41.
Well, you got me beat by like 3 years.
Yeah, 1984.
Yeah, we're all old over here.
Now you described yourself as a mediator. Now I'm like, what did I walk into?
Oh, shit.
Some fucking journalism is what you walked in. A big ball of journalism.
But how's everybody doing today? Like, how's your day going?
No, we doing good, man. We I think Coby walked in here. We got us a good ticking time bomb here from Phoenix, Arizona. You feel me? And it's good to get the man that's getting just so much heat, so much praise, so much everything based off of his opinion in music. So this is gonna be a fun one.
Yeah. I mean, depending on which RG message I open, I'm either great or I'm terrible. But yeah, a lot of mixed emotions.
Dope. So, Coby, I want to know, how did you get started with Phoenix Hip Hop?
Yeah, so Jamaal, you are an early follower, right? So I started Phoenix Hip Hop. I created the IG page just to post shows at Trill I was going to. I didn't even know there was a hip hop community. So like if you go to the oldest post, you'll see like an Ab-Soul concert, you'll see like a JPEG Mafia concert, Token. And then I went to the AZ Hip Hop Festival December 2023. And I was like, what the heck? Wow, there's a lot of rappers here, right? If you had asked me like how many local rappers are in Phoenix, I'd be like, I don't know, maybe like 50 or something like that. I don't know. And then I was like, okay, so I want to understand the community. So that day I decided I was going to try to document the community. And then it just kind of went from there. But a lot of people, they think I've been doing this for a long time. And they're like, why don't you know this rapper or that rapper? I've only been doing this since January 2024. So
that's right.
Yeah.
Put that work in though. Seems like a long time.
Yeah.
It's when you build those relationships.
Yeah.
But that's what's up. I definitely want to, before we get into this WWE match that's going on with you and all of Phoenix, I want to get to know you. I want everybody to get to know you before we get into, what you do. So one of the questions I got for you is, like what made you fall in love with hip hop in the first place?
Yeah, so I fell in love with hip hop when I was a teenager. I was really into like braggadocious hip hop.
Okay.
And I'm still insecure in some ways. As a kid, I was very insecure, right? So I would listen to certain like very confident hip hop, and it was almost like, for me, it was like equivalent to a motivational speech. And so I would try to embody that mindset. And I would just, that's how I first connected with hip hop. And then I love words a lot. It's amazing to me, like we all have the same dictionary and you can arrange words in a way to induce laughter, to induce hostility. Thanks. It seems like, right? And hip hop and rap, just by the very nature of rapping versus singing, which is just slower, has the most lyrics per song on average, right? Yes. So for someone that loves words and creativity with words, hip hop is the best, genre.
I agree.
Can you rap?
Oh,
you can rap?
No, I can't. No.
I feel like you spit a hot 16.
Well, clearly you are a connoisseur of rap, though. When you're able to listen, there's this I don't know if you guys seen a commercial on Netflix, but it was like this guy. They have like the QB show, and he was like, well, I know just as much as the quarterbacks. And he's the guy sitting in the chair. He was like, I watch football more than anybody. And it was like, yeah, these are the guys. When you're able to watch something from a different angle, you can see all views. And I think that's what people don't understand, what's so strong about the consumer in music that I feel like they tend to leave that out. So it's like, yeah, okay. Oh, well, you don't rap. Well, I don't have to rap to know rap. You know? So that's actually, that was a dope question. That's good to know. That's it.
Thank you.
No, for sure. Like, so since that was like your vibe, like, were you like, what are the first artists or the first group, like, what's that first album you remember, like, or artist that you were like, this is it in hip hop? Like,
yeah. I mean, so like everyone, I was first exposed to mainstream music, right? So growing up in the '90s, you had like Bone Thugs and Harmony. I was a fan of Wu-Tang, Mobb Deep. I was really into like Wu-Tang, like I was hardcore into Wu-Tang, like the affiliates, Killer Army, Sons of Man. But the rapper that really did it for me was Cannabis.
okay.
Yeah.
Because Cannabis, he would rap about technology. And like in 1997, he was talking about hard drives, and he's like, he said something about your whack ass C:// and I was like, as someone that was into computers, I was like, okay, this is my type of rap. So, and also Cannabis was in, Chino XL, they sort of rap like they're superheroes, right?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, now today we see a lot of overlap with superheroes and rap music, but in the late '90s, not so much. So, I was just really into sort of like the creativity of like Cannabis and, Chino XL and Pharaoh Monch, just those like very braggadocious rappers.
Hold up. So I don't mean to interrupt, but just because we're on the subject of like your influences, because I'm from Virginia and you just reminded me where you were from, Florida. So
yeah.
So it's like, it makes sense because I'm so used to being in the West Coast that like I feel like I'm the only one who likes the East Coast stuff. Because Mobb Deep, I even grew up to Jay-Z and even the early 2000s era, like with, the flashy New York shit like Dipset, So like for you to say like Mobb Deep and even the last rapper you mentioned, like I remember growing up listening to them. Like in Virginia, they made way for like the East Coast rap, like on the radio. That's when the radio was good.
Yeah.
The 90s. So yeah, just you just reminding me that like you're from, we share the similar influences.
Yeah, well, also because I was from Florida, like what was popular in Florida was Southern rap, right? So No Limit and Cash Money.
Yeah.
And I really got into more like Northeast Coast rap on the internet, and so I was like finding music on the internet before there was social media. You had to go to websites. And
the BitTorrent.
There was like ughh.com, like undergroundhiphop.com. There was rapmusic.com, and they had these bulletin boards, and so rappers would post like their songs on these bulletin boards, and then they were battle. You guys know what a message board is?
I know. Yeah, a little something.
Yeah, it's
a little MySpace.
Kind of.
A little deeper than that.
It's like a forum or whatever. And
okay, Discord.
Man.
And
That's so crazy.
there are some rappers that were posting on rapmusic.com message boards in like 1999. They're still rap. I shared one of them this week. They're still rapping. And so internet rappers back then, people made fun of them. They're like, you're a net C.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, exactly. It's old people stuff. But no one wanted to be associated with.
Someone take a shot at you. You net C mother.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no one wanted to be associated with being a rapper that was on the internet. Like they made fun of me. I'll give you an analogy. Today, if you tell someone that you met your significant other on the internet, no one cares.
Yeah.
In the 90s, people were like, oh, you can't find girls. Like,
internet. You can't talk to nobody. Yeah, so for sure.
It was kind of the same thing back then, which is interesting now because obviously, like the internet is where people find everything.
I agree.
It's like history repeats itself though. Like, because now it's like, everybody's discovered through the internet.
Yeah.
TikTok, all that shit.
Man, TikTok will blow you up before the radio.
Yeah.
These days.
Radio, yeah.
No, that's actually that it's so different, the contrast between before and there. Oh man, I'm gonna dive deep on some shit. Which we're gonna go some places, but since y'all talking about East Coast, I need to know because I'm from Long Beach, California. I need to know what is your take on West Coast hip hop? Was that something that you also like indulged in, or was that like considered so different from the East Coast one where it was like, I don't know what this is?
Yeah, so the logo on my shirt is the logo of a West Coast hip hop group, which is called Hieroglyphics. So yeah, I listen to Hieroglyphics, Living Legends. Who else? I mean, today like Absol, Isaiah Rashad. But yeah, back then there was definitely Souls of Mischief. I think is from the West Coast. 93 Till Infinity. Everyone knows that.
93 Till Infinity for sure.
So there's always a lot of lyrics. Corrupt is like a well-known, he was on Death Row. He's a crazy lyricist.
Corrupt, Dog Pound Gang.
Yeah. So the West Coast used to get a really bad rap for like, it's just like gangster rap. But there's a lot of like amazing lyricists from the West Coast.
That's facts. I definitely agree with that notion.
yeah, exactly. I'm sitting next to him.
You feel me? Come on now, don't. I won't be able to walk out the room. My head be so goddamn big. But one thing I definitely want to know, and I'm sure a lot of people out there too, is like, what is your day to day? Like, what is your day to day doing Phoenix hip hop? Like, how did you even like start that? Why did you start it?
Yeah, so I started it. So I'm just a naturally curious person. I'm someone that's like, whatever I'm into, I go read about it. Like, I bought a VR headset, an Oculus headset a long time ago. And I'm like, went and bought a book about the company. Like, I want to know how everything works, and I want to know why something exists. So I go really deep on it. So I wanted to understand the Phoenix hip hop community. The very first showcase I went to was at Grand Avenue Pizza. In January 2024, and I saw Taylor Crown.
Taylor Crown is dope.
Yeah, I saw like all these artists that I just kind of kept up with, and then I just kept trying to go to different showcases and just understand the community. But it's turned into like it's kind of a podcast. I like post footage, like document things. It's a lot of different things, but it has kind of like a mission, and the mission and principles are. One, give exposure to artists that I just appreciate their skill sets, right? And two is have like a single place to go to see what's going on. Like posting people's flyers and stuff like that. So I try to be like kind of like a centralized hub for the community.
That's really dope. That's why.
Quick question: Are you affiliated with Respect Underground?
Yeah, I am. Right. So yeah. So when I first started Phoenix Hip Hop. Justice, shout out Justice, he reached out and he's like, I see that you're covering like the boom bap scene and no one else is. And I was going to do a podcast on Zoom. So my very first podcast interview was Indie Clouds over Zoom when she still lived in Connecticut. And after that, I just did it at Icon in the podcast studio.
Okay.
And I support what he does, and he, kind of lets me use resources and stuff like that. But it's a very good point or a good question, because that's a whole different world than a lot of the stuff I cover. And I try to bridge the gap between RTU, nerdy artsy rappers. There's a trap metal scene here. There's just like everything going on, and I consider myself like Sweden, right? I'm like neutral. I don't consider, like, I don't take sides.
Okay.
What would you say is like the hardest part, other than everybody hating your ass about running Phoenix hip hop, like that people don't see?
Yeah, the hardest part, I mean, it's really just me doing it. I mean, now I have some volunteers or whatever, but the hardest part is really to help, I guess, explain what it is. I get all these DMs like, hey, like, when how can I get on a show, and how I want to be interviewed or this and that. And people just don't really understand like what it is. And then I would say like just navigating people's personalities and egos is definitely difficult. Like the listing, if you go through the Phoenix Hip Hop page, you will not find, I'll bet money, you will not find one post of me saying anything negative about anyone. But people will process praise for Jamaal as an insult, to you.
Right.
And it can be it's quite fascinating and confusing.
For sure. I think that just me personally, and just understanding how artists think and being with myself, I also feel like a lot of times artists can be very entitled. They're very entitled. It's like the
Delusional.
Yeah, it's delusional. Like, oh, you like Jamaal, so you don't like me, and it's like, I don't know you, you know.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I definitely hear that. Like, I feel that, and even checking on your page, I definitely see like just really all the work that you do put in to actually researching artists and looking at artists that I think people are brushing by as well. That you actually are a fan of hip hop and a listener and a consumer of hip hop to a true level.
Yeah.
And so when we're in a society of like microwave listening, you know, it's just in and out, and it's like, okay, that song was cool, on to the next one. And you actually get to focus on something that you specifically like. I think that is what, and like, as far as a fan of music, that's its truest form. So I feel like when sometimes people could just look somewhere, you could find the gem and what it's actually about if you just take some time and looking. So
Yeah,
no, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, a lot. You mentioned something I want to really emphasize. I take a fan first approach. So like I literally, I've interviewed someone that had me blocked because I still like their music. I've had people that are very rude to me, and I'm just whatever. You know, it's a human being thing. But I still appreciate their music, right? So people think I'm like a media person or like I'm, you know, but I'm not. I literally really enjoy rap music, and I post the things that I appreciate.
That's what's up.
Let's get into this list though.
And boom.
Yeah.
Speaking, so you know what? I'm gonna just get right into it and ask you what I think they're asking you. And I'm gonna ask you like them so they can know we're not taking it easy on you in here.
Yeah.
Why the fuck do you have that list like that? Is it in order? What's going on? Why am I not on there? Coby, what the fuck going on?
Oh, I know. My bad. Okay, so the list was kind of random, and it's funny because like when I was putting it together, I was sitting on my kitchen table with my laptop out. I had Google Sheets out. This is like a very simple day. And I was just like, you know what? So maybe 3 years ago, I remember there used to be these lists on the internet, not Phoenix hip hop list, rapper lists, like 50 rappers, right? 100 rappers, and people are like, why is Lil Wayne on it? Why is Wayne on here? But you know, my favorite rapper, why is Rakim's not on here? And you know, like all these in my mind, goats, Lupe Fiasco's not on here. And so I remembered like how people would talk about those lists, and I was like, you know, it would be interesting to do that locally and see what the response is.
Oh man.
And so I sat there, and at first I was like, I'm gonna do a top 25, but then I was like,
you would have really fucked people up with that one.
At least you gave them
You would
75.
yeah. So then I'm like, wait, but what about so and so? I'm like, all right, let me add 5 more top 30. I'm like, but there's still, I'm like, this guy's gonna be really upset. I'm like, all right, let me do the top 50. But I'm like, but still, there's
let's go up some more.
this person. I'm like, all right, let me do 75. And finally, I'm like, I've been sitting here doing this for an hour. I'm like, I'm just gonna put this out, and I did, and yeah, I had no idea how people would react to it.
So it was almost 76, 77. But you was like 75. Did you have to cut some people like at that hour?
I mean, I kind of got to a point where I was like, I can't really think of any other people. Obviously, I did think of people afterwards. It's kind of like if anyone's ever said, hey, because I have a podcast and I ask artists, it's like, hey, who are 3 people in the community that inspire you? And half the artists I ask that, they don't want to answer it because they're like, well, I'm gonna leave someone out and they're gonna be mad at me. Or they'll say like 3 people and then they forget or whatever. So I just I typed down everyone that was like from my memory, and someone said, oh, it's a random list because you just typed it from your memory. It's like, no, but if you look at my page, I've been to 3 showcases for this artist, or I've watched this artist record, you know, in his studio. So when I say like it was from my head, it doesn't mean it was random. It was just like the artist that I really appreciate.
It's who you networked and who you know, you're involved in the community. So you, like you said, you're a fan. So you made this list off of being a fan of the artists in the community, their music and all of that. It wasn't just some our favoritism or just, because he's popping and the music's not really hot type of list.
Yeah. And what's interesting is like doing this for a year and a half now, one of the most common complaints from artists is pay to play and politics and this platform, you know, they want me to pay to get something shared. Everything I do is free. And every
Respect.
I will post people's stuff, and I'll pay my own money to boost the reels so they have more visibility. So I'm not gonna say like I'm so unique or whatever, but as far as I know, I'm the only platform that's like posting people just because I appreciate them. I'm not charging them, and they're still upset.
Clock that T. You heard it from the man. So just to bounce off of that right there, it was not to start some shit in Arizona.
Of course.
It was low key. So was it to start a conversation or like?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, okay. So, and this is the thing that most people like give me, because I've debated a few people and the DMs and stuff like that. And what a lot of people say is, hey, but this doesn't say it's your favorite artist. It says top AZ rappers. And when you say top rappers, it you have to have criteria. And it's like, okay, based on what? Why do I have to have criteria?
What to do?
And I was debating this guy today, and he's like, no, but he's like, you're missing melodic rappers. You're missing this. You're missing that. And I'm like, okay, but I don't really listen to a lot of that. So you're asking me to create a list based on stuff I don't listen to. I wouldn't even know what to put on that. You know what I mean?
Facts.
I wanna, because this was one of my questions too. Well, this is my observation too. So ever since you did your list, we had other like media platforms in AZ make their list too, like DJ Pez. We got Phoenix Cam, Felix the Cat. I'm not sure if AZ Way Too Active did one or not, but that just goes to say there's different scenes. There's different scenes. There's different types of genres. Each genre make their own type of clique or scene, ages. I'm pretty sure there's some younger people that are like, oh shit, I didn't make the list. And it's just I haven't reached you, maybe because you're 21 and I got not a standard, but I got a cutoff. But you made the list off of your criteria of what you like, and just as well as other people too. And this is another thing too. So
keep it going. Keep it going.
Okay, so to say another thing too, as far as there being different scenes. So what if you're the rapper that's on each of those lists? I feel like does that make them some of the top artists? Because I've seen 5 different lists, different artists. Some are not on, maybe 2 other ones, but there might be one rapper or a few rappers that are on 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So I think that's really like, if you want to talk top, there's a reason why those artists made it to those 4 or 5, 3 other lists.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah.
But I want to ask both of you, all of you questions. Why did it take me to make a list for other people to make a list when I've only been doing this since 2024?
Ooh, and you're not even from here.
I also think it's to, a lot of people want to make people happy. A lot. Sometimes when you're building a platform, sometimes you don't want to piss people off because your platform is based off of the artist that you would probably piss off. And so I think that can scare people. So, and it's always easier to kind of run away from what you truly want to say and just kind of play into certain things. And that's no shade to nobody else. I fuck with the other platforms too. I watch their content. I engage with it. But when you can sit there and be like, well, I don't give a fuck. This is who I like, period. Then that right there, to me, it shows like, yeah, that's also because I also think your intentions were to, 1, start a conversation, and 2, give your personal opinion on what you liked. So that right, when you come out the gate with that being your intention, then you're not really looking towards anybody's attitude, because it's like shit, low key, it ain't warranted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. And
Make your own list.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And someone asked me like, well, or they're like, you have to have a criteria. I'm like, okay, so even if I add a criteria to my list, I could make a scale 1 to 10, like, okay, lyricism 1 to 10, they had 3 triple entendres and 2 punchlines, so they get a 7. And this, I could go really detailed. 1, I don't have time for that, but 2, people are still going to argue. No, that doesn't count as that.
Yeah.
And that's not.
I didn't like that bar.
Yeah. And then this guy was telling me today, well, you didn't cover this genre. I'm like, okay, but I guarantee you, if someone tried to be all inclusive, maybe they will leave out country rap, and then country rappers will be like, you didn't cover country rap, and like there's never going to be a perfect list, right. But for some reason people want to hold me to like a standard that's in their mind, but it's like, why do I have to adhere to your standard, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of my biggest things for sure is when it comes to me personally, and I want to definitely hear you out on this for sure, is just to be clear, your list said Phoenix hip hop, correct?
Actually, well, so the platform's called Phoenix Hip Hop, but it says top 75 Arizona rappers, and so I included some Tucson rappers. Yeah. Okay.
I personally believe that hip hop and rap nowadays are two different things. So, personally, when I looked at your list, there are some artists that I don't know, but that's because I don't necessarily listen to boom bap all the time. I might listen to the, just the what's on there. It might be a mixture of R&B type of thing. I might listen to a different artist, but I can also see why they wouldn't necessarily be on that particular list. And to me, they're all different. A hip hop artist is different to me from a rapper, because rappers don't necessarily have to have lyricism to me. Mm-hmm. You can be melodic. You can come out that bitch like Lil Uzi and damn, and I'll be like, oh shit, But if you come out the gate on some like Simba and Absol, to me that is they play into both for me as far as a hip hop artist and a rapper. Yeah. Not necessarily just both. And I also think that rappers and artists are two different total things personally too, in a sense. I feel like you can merge the two. But I think that some things that rappers have, they're not necessarily a full artist because they're lacking certain things. Yep. I feel like if you call yourself a musician, you should play an instrument. Yeah. That's like how I look at it. Like, you cannot say you're a musician and you don't know how to play the piano, the keyboard, the violin or something. So when it comes to like a rapper and an artist, to me, that's different. And if you're doing hip hop versus rap, that's two totally different things. To me, that's Kendrick and Yachty. Yeah, like, they're both rappers, but I would put Kendrick in a hip hop form and I would put Yachty as a rapper.
Yeah, no, I like to hear everyone's opinions, and I'm not like married to any certain definitions. Like, I mean, because some people say rap means, rhythm and poetry. And so, okay, if you go by that definition, it means something, hip hop is really the four elements, right? Breakdancing, DJing, MCing, graffiti. But then you think, and then some people say, well, there's between MCs and rappers. And what is the MCs? Master of ceremonies. And, back in the day, they would get on stage and get the crowd hyped by saying crazy things. And that's where braggadocious hip hop. So it's all up for interpretation. I don't disagree with what you're saying. I'm more just like, I just want to cover the things that are interesting. And I as a white person, I always say I'm a guest in the culture. And some people are like, no, you're not. Everyone's it's open to everyone. That's fine. I don't share that opinion.
Respect.
I approach it very in a sensitive way, and I respect that I am a guest in the culture. And I don't take how people have received the platform lightly, right? So, so when people think I'm like trying to piss people off, or some people said it was rage bait, and it's like, no, I'm not trying to solicit a reaction. I'm just trying to highlight artists that should be highlighted. And when people make one more point, a lot of people like, I don't recognize these names, and it's like, that's the point. Mm-hmm. Why do you want me to give you names that you're already familiar with? Yeah. What does that do?
See, that's that clout. That's that favoritism shit. I'm trying to put you on to some new artists.
No, for sure. I think that a lot of the times, like, the certain artists, I'm not going to say everyone, but if you're going to get that mad over an opinion, it can be in a sense of like, I just feel like they're not used to, like, artists are super sensitive anyway. So they super sensitive. They don't like anybody not liking their stuff. And then you find yourself not on a list in a place where it seems like hip hop hasn't found its way out of the shell yet. And so you're looking like, well, I'm doing this and that. And I feel like a lot of times people can be confused and mix, their their talent with an impact with certain moves, and they can get very sensitive if they're not on things. And I think that is the demise of a lot of artists. As a songwriter, I don't necessarily have that luxury. There's a very direct, very subjective undertone in every room that I go to. People are just like, yep, don't like that song, thanks. And it's like, okay, now I gotta write another one. You can't really be like, what the fuck? I spent all day on this shit for you. It's like, you just gotta kind of, all right, bet, and let's do it again. And I don't think a lot of people are kind of used to that type of treatment. And so they're used to being just, let me, you know, like I want to feel the praise all the time.
Coddled.
Yeah.
Coddled. There we go.
And I agree with that 100%. And I also see it as deeper than that. I see it as like all of our opinions, even outside of music. So a lot of people, and I used to do this too, right? They associate their opinions with their identity, right? Or they associate their artistry with their identity. So when you say you don't like something, they process as like, you're rejecting me. But it's not, it's, if you say I like a certain kind of food or whatever, I say I don't like that, I'm not rejecting you, right?
Yeah.
But we understand that. But when it comes to creativity and art, people feel rejected. So if people would disassociate their identity with what, you know, their viewpoints, I think they will process it much differently.
No, for sure. I think that's very difficult to do though. When you feel like you're working hard and you're doing this, and a lot of times though too, people look at other artists. I feel like they judge a book by like other stuff, you know, like, oh, well, I got mad followers and he don't, you know, but I feel like those are the gems. There's certain people where, you know, I know Grammy writers that have 300 followers and they have Grammys. And so it's like, well, if you're going to judge it by that, like, who's really big shit then? Like,
the numbers don't matter.
Yeah, the numbers don't matter. It's really it's the impact. And music is so subjective to where it's like, you know, my opinion is my opinion, period. Yeah. And it changes.
Yeah. Yep. I went to the Phoenix Art Museum like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and there's a framed blank piece of white paper. It's just like a notebook paper on the wall, right? Someone thinks that's art. And I see a piece of paper and it's not interesting at all to me, but I'm not like, where's the curator? Who put this piece of paper on here? I demand an explanation. No, like, it's someone's opinion. You know what I mean? So,
no, fact. Remember that one with the banana? Y'all seen that one? It was like a banana taped on a fucking wall. It was something crazy too.
Was it $1 million? No.
Yeah, it was something dumb. But it's like, yeah, like I would never pay $1 million for a banana on the wall. But somebody did. You feel me? That's what that's their opinion. Yeah. You know? But
see, I like that y'all I like y'all's conversation, because it's like you gotta take yourself out of just, like you said, your identity. But also when you said that not a lot of people go through like people telling them, no, that's not it. That's not it. And you have to go back to the drawing board. That's what, like, I feel like that's like, it's like, how much do you want it, or how much work are you putting in to where you're at that level, or how long have you been? Because I think that comes with the 10,000 hours too. Like, you know, like you put in that work, you're at that level where you're in these rooms where now we're not at this, like, everybody's yes man. We're at this level where, all right, you're all right. You're up here now. Oh, actually, you're up here now. Mm-hmm. And now it's a little smaller. Yeah. Because these are the people who are really, really serious in making these records and getting them placed. And it takes different types of, a different type of mentality, mindset. You know, because, yeah, there's no coddling in these rooms. Like, if you ain't got it, you ain't got it, you know? Like, or if you ain't got it, you need to go back and keep working at it.
Yeah.
You know?
The thing is, though, I didn't tell anyone they weren't it. You know what I mean? So if I praise you and you say, no, why did you do that? You're processing that. Your mind is creating that duality. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's on you. True. So anyone should be able. The reason I grew my platform so quickly is because all I do is say nice things to people. That's literally all I do. Lord Maya's over there off camera, and there's so many DMs I've sent her. Hey, you did a great job at that showcase. Hey, you know, good job. That's all I do. So it's quite ironic that the one person in the community that's just complimenting people has upset everyone.
You know that saying, it's like it's super true. Like it's like if you tell someone yes all the time,
Yeah.
and they love you, and as soon as you say no to one thing, they're like, fuck you.
Yeah,
You
you
never
don't know
do
shit.
nothing for me. Like, and it's like, motherfucker, I've been carrying you for years.
Yep.
But it's like you know, people only remember when the time you said no to them. They really remember the time.
I didn't say no to
You
him.
said yeah, right, but that's how they
you
take it.
challenged
It's a
them.
no
That's how
to
they
being on the
yeah.
list, and that's
Yeah.
how they're taking it.
Yeah.
Another question I feel like you know, I want to know, and I feel like the people on it. I'm gonna go ahead and give you their voice in pure hate on the comment section. Is the list?
Say the
Do you
names.
think they sound like that?
No,
Is the list comprised of people that are from Arizona or just reside in Arizona or all the above?
As far as I know, everyone on the list is currently in Arizona. There's a person named Sean Clark. I really like him. I would have put him on the list, but he moved to Colorado. So yeah, as far as I know, they're all either
easy.
from or living in Arizona.
Okay, for sure.
Oh, okay. So I got a question too. So based off the list too, I feel like it's all about involvement in the community too. Not only is the music like the music's good, but also are you popping out? Are you supporting other artists as well? Are you collaborating? Are you doing shows? Are you on people's shows? Like, it's just involvement. Just how you made the list is just, I feel like artists have to do that too. Like, you know these people because you were out there and they were out there. You know, a lot of these people that are like, oh, I got 100K, but I looked at the comments, it's like, I don't even know who you are.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
and I've been out in this scene since 2016. You know, I've been in different forms. I was in a group. I was just making beats. Now I'm DJing, and I have never seen you. So
Yeah.
you know, not you, but I'm saying the people that are speaking on the numbers are just other things. It's just like I haven't seen, but I have seen just to call a random name, Lord Maya or W or
Shout out Jay Vengeance.
J Vengeance, Key. Pardon me if I'm saying it wrong.
Yes,
Key.
yeah.
That's my girl. Like, these are
Kid Friendly,
Merkham's. These people
Tater Crown.
they've been putting in that work, and they've been networking. They've been at different places, and that's when I was saying, like, if you made it to maybe all 5 of those lists that other people made, you know, or other people's lists, you really put in that work.
I also look at it as artists. To me, like, they're so, when I say they really like sensitive as fuck, like
Sensitive.
it's really like, I ain't even gonna say it because then they gonna be mad at me. I don't want to be like Coby out here. Everybody mad at you, but nah, like I feel like they mad sensitive, super emotional, and that's me being an artist myself. Like, they mad emotional because at the end of the day, like, no one has to know, like, not everybody knows you. And I think that's one of the biggest things. And it's not because, I don't think it's necessarily because you're not putting in work, because there's so many artists that are like crazy lit, stupid lit. They on tour right now, people singing they shit, they making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year.
Yeah.
And I've never heard of them in my life.
Yeah.
That's
And so,
another
and
subject.
they're
Yeah.
actually like celebrities. There's actors. There's this. I might not have seen your fucking movie. Like, why you getting mad at me? Like, so it's
Or Wavvii, baby.
You feel me? Oh, big wave.
Platinum, double
Oh,
platinum.
Stop.
You know what I mean?
Stop it.
Not the, you know, I'm just saying.
Nah, but yeah,
know?
that's another thing. I don't expect anyone to know me or give a fuck. Like, yeah, okay, there's that, and if you know that about me, then cool. But the thing is that you have to just keep showing up as an artist, because what you did last year, that plaque that I got a couple years ago, yes, I'm grateful, but I want to get another one. So my next thing isn't about the plaque. Because if I take that shit off my page, you'll never know that I did it unless you go read the credits. So the only thing you have of me is my next thing, which is, what did I put out yesterday? What did I do a cover song and that you really liked? And then later when you get to know me, you'll find out, oh, that plaque, you got some plaques on the wall. Great. But I don't ever expect somebody to give a fuck about me. And like, it's just so weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, okay, I'm going to build on what you said. So there are so many comments that are like, you're crazy for leaving, you know, and they tag a person off. So, and then I see someone like that comment and it's the artist that was left off. I go to their page and they're not following me, right? So they've seen the comment that they were tagged in, and it's crazy I didn't include them, but they don't even try to get my attention, you know. And I'm not saying they need to. I'm just saying, like, if you want me to be aware of your music, why wouldn't you just like follow it? It doesn't make any sense, right?
Yeah,
playing it and not even following you.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
crazy.
like you want to be noticed on these platforms. You're not following the platforms. You're not engaging in the platforms. And like if you're gonna pop off, then granted everybody will see you, and you're running ads in this particular space, and everybody's like, oh, I heard that song before. I know this person. Yeah. If you're not running like that, or you're not engaging with these people, then how the fuck would they know you? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. And I mean, so anyone that's upset, their subconscious has granted my opinion value or authority.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't tell them like I know some, like I'm a standard. They decided that it meant something. At the same time, they're saying the list is terrible, but it means something enough that you're upset of. You know what I mean? So it doesn't have to matter to them, right? That's in their mind.
No, for sure. And it's super subjective. There's a lot of times where artists could be dope, and if I don't like you, you just wouldn't be on my list personally. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I just think you a bitch made motherfucker, then why would I put you on my favorite people list? Like, that's crazy. And so it's always really subjective, and people don't like that. It's very clear, because when you see that, I didn't have to screenshot. They getting mad at you. I'm gonna read this one. They say, "You ready for this?"
Yeah.
I'm gonna read it in their voice.
What's their name?
Do it.
I'm gonna put their name.
No,
shit, what the fuck? I ain't scared. What they gonna do to me? It's a gun-toting state in this motherfucker. We got Kuma the Saiyan. Oh,
okay, cool.
Oh, I think that's the guy
Super
I was debating in my DMs. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, for sure.
Kuma.
And it's a positive debate, so shout out to Kuma, you feel me? Yeah. He said, this is how I'm thinking he sound. Let's be frank, brother. Yeah. If there's more comments than likes on this thing, then that's already a telltale sign the community is up in arms at this post. You don't have to care that much. It's evident. But even the people on the list don't agree with how it was set up. Ain't even no melodic rappers on this, brother. I hope the boom bap genre, I love the boom bap genre, but we are more than this.
Melodic rappers.
Yeah, and that's awesome. Like I agree with them. It's just like I like I was saying earlier, I can't create a list from artists that I don't listen to, because like otherwise I would ask other people to tell me who I should put on the list. Then it's not my list. What's the point of that?
Yeah.
But yeah, that guy, we went back and forth a lot, and he has a very strong opinion that I have to be inclusive and all that. And I believe in inclusivity when it comes to including women. Like, there's women on the list. If that list was all white rappers, of course, people should tear me apart. But there's less white rappers than black rappers. You know what I mean? So like, I do believe in inclusivity. But when it comes to types of art, that's just opinion based.
No, for sure. I definitely agree with you. Like, if I made a list, half them motherfuckers wouldn't be on there. But that's because I don't know. There's certain people on there that you had where I was literally talking to Jamaal. I'm like, who's this? He was like, you don't know this? Like, and I'm like, nah, I never heard of him. But I'm also newer to Arizona for sure. And so I'm still trying to understand that, there's a lot of people, they might come to LA and they be like, who's Daz Dillinger? And I'm like, you don't know about Daz Dillinger? And it's like, you can't really blame people for not knowing a certain area of things, even if that's not like what you truly believe in. And it's like, I think they're stuck on the mainstream of things, like, oh, there's no melodic rap. Well, if I like hip hop and I like boom bap and that's what I'm into, then that's what my list gonna be about. Hip hop is definitely a foundation to me. I feel like rap has sprouted from that foundation. And I think that's just where people are at now. So they can't understand that you have a whole different, engagement with music.
Yeah, 100%. Another thing I noticed, I didn't know this was a thing, but like one reason I see people getting upset is because they're paying other platforms to post them, like AZ Way Too Active, or they're winning some competition. And I'm not going to go into too much detail, but someone that that runs another platform that I work with, he sent a DM like, if he's associated with RTU, why am I not on this list? And it's just like
associated.
He wasn't following me. I hadn't heard of him, And I think people get really, really upset when they've spent all this time like playing a game, right? Like, okay, I'm doing all the things that people tell me to do and I'm not on this list. But that's the purpose of my list, is to actually give exposure to people like Lord Maya that doesn't need to go pay someone to post her. She doesn't need to go pay for a showcase. I'm putting her on a showcase.
That's right.
I'm making sure her music is in front of people because she deserves that based on her talent, not based on having to kiss people's ass, right? And so
That's right.
Facts.
that's the whole point of it.
You know,
subject.
He clocked all y'all tea, by the way. Okay, I got my motherfucking teacup. But no, you know, I think that's also that's the era we're in right now, is that artists, they don't even, you know, before you had to actually be talented. And I think that's where I get to see, in my age and growing up in the 90s, you actually see people that are like talented and they make it. There was no social media.
Yeah.
There was no following. Like, you didn't even know an artist's personal life. You know what I mean? All you knew was the song, you know?
Imagine.
Imagine if they knew about
through the music,
Diddy back then.
Yeah, no.
Oh shit! Get him away from her.
No.
But no. But it's like when you look at like how you have to be as an artist, I can understand why artists could get tight, you know, because it's like, well, shit, I gotta pay this, I gotta shoot that, I gotta have a videographer, a photographer, or this, and you telling me, you know what I mean? And so it's like I can understand where they're coming from. I just don't really necessarily understand why. But it's definitely different. But I honestly think that just the whole list has definitely done something to Phoenix hip hop. And me being a person from California and coming into a space where I'm like, where the fuck is the culture out here? Like, I'm trying to find the culture out here. And I see it in certain pockets of people, and I've attached myself to those people because I'm like, okay, this is what I love. I love music, and I see you guys are doing this for hip hop, for music, for rap, for whatever, R&B. When you make a list like this, it shakes shit up. And like they say, whether it's bad press or good press, it's press, nigga. Yeah, so, you know, and I feel like people can capitalize off this moment. Instead of being mad, where the camera at? Instead of being angry, why don't you go ahead and duet the whole list and be like, I'm going to make next year's list and drop a song. Go crazy.
Collab with all 75 artists.
Oh God! Now that
really would like.
Coby really gonna fuck with you next year.
DJ K Slay, you remember? He did like, he has like a 50 artist cipher. DJ K, you remember him?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. Yep.
He has like a 75 artist cipher, something like that.
Yeah. So he locked in. He stopped in.
But yeah, no, I agree. I agree with what you said. I mean, the bummer is that there's probably artists that like are hating on it that I would have invited to work and do something, you know. Like we're this Friday, we're releasing the first episode of something called Cactus Collabs, and we invite a rapper, artist, and producer artist that never worked together, and they create on the spot. Ooh. And I invite an artist to be the guest host. Be in there. So I'm because I'm not an in front of camera person. I don't like to be in front. This is only the third podcast I did. I only did it because I like Jamaal. So I'm literally looking for opportunities for other artists on their behalf for free. But then it's like they're gonna be all upset. It's like, well, why would I want to work? And it's not even petty. It's just like, why, you're difficult. Why would I want to work with you?
Would you let somebody that was like, fuck your list on that platform still?
Why not?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, probably, as long as they weren't like too personal about it.
Right. Your dog. Your
say shit about
like, yeah, like hold on. Nah, for sure. Is the list? I think I asked you, but is the list in order? Personally,
yeah, the only order is like the first person I highlighted was Maze Overlay, and I did that because he's released like, I don't know, 12 albums in 2 years or something like that. And if you look at his albums, like his cover artwork is crazy. He does all this branding, so I wanted to pay him respect. But otherwise, the list is out of order. It's not really any specific order.
Do you think that you would sit down and make an in order list? And really piss people the fuck off. Shit. I'm with all that. I'm with all the smoke. I love some smoke.
Yeah, so I've had multiple people say like, this needs to be in order, and it's like, okay, but what do I get out of that?
Alphabetical
Right.
order, or
How does that benefit me? All it does is get people arguing more about why someone number 12 instead of
Right.
6.
Yeah.
There's literally no benefit other than the people in the top 10. Everyone else is gonna be, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
Right.
I just
You
don't
number
understand.
75. The fuck?
yeah,
Oh,
exactly. So
I hate him again.
so I'll rather keep it like more random.
Would you make other lists from different genres out here?
Yeah. So before I made the list, I reached out to Wolfgang. What's his name?
and Z is
Yeah,
over.
Wolfgang Zemos,
something. Yeah.
Honey Rose, and then Lepre. And I was like, just so you know, I'm putting on a list.
Lepre.
You guys aren't on it, but I have another R&B influence hip hop list in mind, and I'm putting you guys on that. So yeah, I already planned to do like
you
an
gonna piss more people off.
an R&B,
R&B artists.
hybrid list. But after that, I'm done with lists. So I'm only doing that because I had already planned it.
Do a top producer list.
Oh,
and
yeah,
piss
actually,
everybody
no,
off.
no,
Piss
I-
me off because I ain't on that list.
No, I'm gonna actually. I will do that. No, but I think it's important. And Jamaal, you guys probably know this just as well. Producers do not get the exposure that they should.
They
There's
don't.
no list for us.
Producers are also more introverted.
Yeah.
And I've tried really hard. Like shout out Tony Benson, Ben Sheps,
Shout out.
Jamaal, Dr. LaFleur. I tried really hard to give them exposure because no one else is. So I probably will do a
Man.
producer list.
Please, okay.
Because to me, this is the craziest part. Like producers, beat makers, engineers, they the one that really makes, the
The
bad
real
for the
collaborative.
rappers to do their thing. So why aren't they highlighted?
Hold on now. Hold on. This is sparked some debate now. Hold on. Okay. I'm gonna ask you first because I'll go the fuck in. So boom.
Hold up.
As a music lover, what are you going in order? Okay. Producer, artist, engineer. Put them in order. Importance of importance.
Yeah.
Okay, so I see producers as artists. Well, I would say
I'm sorry, songwriter too. Maybe not in this case because I feel like if you're gonna do hip hop, you writing your shit.
Yeah.
If you a rapper, you could do whatever.
a producer or a beat maker creates the landscape for a rapper to exist. Now you could argue like, well, you could do acapella. Yeah, you could.
We don't want to hear that.
But are you going to listen to an album of acapellas? I'm not. So I'm not, and I'm not one for saying this is better than that. All I will say, I believe in interdependence. And interdependence is everything is connected and relies on everything else. And so I won't say one is better than the other, but I'll say a rapper cannot exist without the producer in the form that I understand a rapper to be. So
Yeah.
I think they're equally important, but they create that landscape.
For
I
sure.
agree.
When it comes to, so this is how I feel like, this is why I think it's a big difference with rap and hip hop. When it comes to like, I feel like when you have like hip hop, if your lyricism is on point, you could do ciphers, you could do this. You don't necessarily need the engineer, right? Or you can, but it's like what we're after is how, like what you got, you know what I mean?
Rawness.
If you're rapping, singing, I feel like that's when that engineer is like the most important factor. Do you think they still play a true factor in hip hop as they do in other genres? Or do you feel like they would be lower on the list of, producer, artist, engineer, or, how would they still fit on that list for you?
Yeah, I mean, if I was forced, like gun to my head to say like how, important they are, I would say they're probably the least important only because there's so much music that was created without an engineer. The mix is not great and the quality is not great, but it's still possible to put it out. But if you put an engineer, if you just take an engineer, you can't put something out, right? They have to have something to engineer. So I feel like there is no engineer without the artist.
Right.
And I still
The
think an
producer
engineer
and the
is an artist in themselves, but you guys know what I mean.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
It's like, is there can you have a painter without a canvas? That's, it's kind of that type of thing. It's all connected.
No, for sure.
Facts.
I agree. What y'all got for him? This
You
man
got
done
Jamaal?
shook some shit up.
What you got for him?
We should end the episode on that note, but any last words, like your final thoughts about the list?
I want to say it's not about the list, but I want to say mad respect to you and what you do in the community. And also my first time seeing you, you came to my show, my all-female showcase. I really appreciate you. Like it was weird because I DM'd you the flyer, and then like I had a flyer downtown, and you just like walked and seen that first before the DM, and that was just like that made me feel really, really good. Like, I don't want to tear up and shit. That shit really like it, because I was doing that shit by myself, like promo, putting the list together, the platform to do the show and all of that, and just wasn't sure who was gonna show up. So I'm hitting DMs, all of that, and just to see you like see what I my work that I put in, it was just like, okay, I'm doing something right.
Yeah, no, congratulations on that. Like, I think I try very hard to make sure I highlight women. There's a myth that women can't rap. It was stupid, right? There's tons of amazing women rappers. And so your show being an all-female show, I made sure I attended it because I feel it's very important. So I hope you continue to do this.
Thank you. Part 2.
No, for sure. My final thoughts on it, for sure. This, I'm not going to lie to you. This list, to me, put me on to you. I'm still certain, I'm still looking at things. I'm still trying to navigate through the community here with music out in Arizona. So when I seen this list, I'm like, damn, why everybody mad? Like, I feel like I walked into a room and everybody was already fighting. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, who started it? What's going on? And to be honest with you, just talking to you, not only did I get a sense of not like why you made the list, but actually just who you are and why it even formed. Like, you literally woke up and was like, shit, I like this type of music, I'm gonna go write down my favorite, who I listen to right now. And so I really fuck with that. I'm definitely, like, you definitely found yourself another follower on your page, and just with everything that you do. I think that you shake shit up for Arizona. You're not afraid to be like, fuck it, I don't need to be everybody's friend out here. And to me, hip hop actually needs that. It's so many people that want to play the industry role and be friendly with everybody. Yep. And it's not really like that in real life. The industry is cold-blooded. I'm telling y'all that right now. Y'all want to be on these labels, this and that. They are dirty. They are crazy. And so when you find somebody like you that actually shows up to these shows, you seen an all women show, hey, I'm gonna pull up, or you actually listen to the artists that you're actually putting on your page, and that just shows the type of person you are, that you are needed in the hip hop community. So even if it's not a list, definitely keep shaking shit up like how you doing, because I'm looking forward to it for sure. Yes, like I've never seen so many artists pop out. Now I'm literally going through your comments, looking at people so I could be like, oh, let me listen to your music and let me see what you got. Like, why the fuck are you so mad? So let me see why you mad for. And honestly, like, I wouldn't have even known half these people did music if it was not for your post and for your opinion. And so the fact that you put that out, like, big shout out to you. You definitely woke the scene up, and it's well needed in Arizona for sure.
Yep. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate you both. I'll just say some last words. A couple of artists, like Black Shaw, Zodiac, a couple of artists said, like, hey, no one's ever put me on a list. Thank you. Like, it's very meaningful to them, right? That makes me feel good. But lastly, I just want to say, it's all just my opinion. My opinion doesn't matter to anyone except they decide it matters, right? And so I'm not an authority. I'm not a standard. All I am is a nerd about hip hop, and I want to, it's my hobby, and I want to promote people that I appreciate. That's all it is.
No, for sure.
So thank you, Jamaal, for having me on. I appreciate you.
No problem.
Before we get off here, I do want to shout out one of the artists specifically on there. I know a few people, and I've already shouted them out. I didn't shout out Tech, so shout out Tech Super Latin. I said J Vengeance, Merkham's, they dope, but shout out Zeke. You put Zeke on the list. Zeke is literally one of my closest friends. I fuck with Zeke. We fuck with Zeke. Like, our Zeke 30 for 30 Zeke.
Government? No.
And I see him work. Like, I work with him on a lot of records, and I've seen him work. He was just at my house just the other week. So I see how he works, and he deserves to be on so many different lists. And so to see that you do actually pay attention to people that are making like actual moves, and they're actually true artists. He's a true musician. He knows how to play instruments. He's a producer. He is one of the most amazing artists I've ever came into contact with. So to see him on your list, that's how I know, like, you truly pay attention and have an ear out on the streets and what hip hop truly is. So kudos to you again. And shout out the Control Room. Y'all know we're gonna bring it to you.
Control.
Yeah. That's the end of the episode. Coby, thank you for coming out. This is the Control Room with Jamaal the RX, Wavvii Baby, and AB.
Yes, sure.
Thank you.
Yo.